Hello, am I sitting up straight? Am I okay?
Yeah, you look good, eh? Gents.
Are we recording? We here? Let's go.
Good day, lads and lasses. This is The Wafflers. Welcome. What's your name and role in The Wafflers Podcast?
Hey, welcome. My name is Riyaad Peters, and my role in the Wafflers pod is I mix the batter that becomes the waffle eventually, I guess. Chef. I think that's my role. Chef.
Welcome. What's your name and role in The Wafflers Podcast?
My name is William Sukker, and I'm part of the Wafflers, well-known Wafflers Podcast. And I'm part of the, let's say, the content team. If that's what you want to call it.
Yeah, so how's it? My name's Ross Liddell. I am the host of the pod, or for those who have watched it before, just the gent that sits in the middle and just listens, you know? Yeah, that's who I am. How's it? My name's Luke. I don't want to say I'm the brains of the operation because we do have two great minds behind the scenes, but yeah, I do a lot of the stuff you see is because of me, to say the least. The editing is my role. I took that on. It's a big hassle, but I love it. I love it.
What are your thoughts on the process?
What are my thoughts on the process of the Wafflers pod? They started like I was on fire. Remember that first day? I think they're the only group that is really engaged by the possibilities of content curation, production, and just building a platform for information like they share. They speak about football. Who cares about English football? I mean, speak about some other stuff, man. Actually quite impressed. I think Aaron Smith, William Harold Sukker is an interesting chap, loves his sport. And there's Ross Liddell with his Jerry curl. Definitely been engaged for the past year and a bit that I've known him. It's like he's in there, man. And then there's Luke Hartman. What an interesting chappie. Luke Hartman, I'm not sure. I think he came to the open day with his folks. That was the first time I saw him there, sitting there. And I met him first year. His graph is like everybody's graph. Only difference with him is where most went into a trough, he almost maintained like a little plateau somewhere lower. And then this year, this module, and this Wafflers pod, I mean, the guy goes, can you edit this? Beep to the wall. He goes beep to the wall. Beep.
Now, how did the Wafflers even come into existence?
Okay, so there's a room just over there. We were in that room called Chairman's View. And Mr. RP, Mr. Riyaad Peters, said to us, yeah, you've got this project. Think of an idea. And Ross came and he was like, oh, I'd do like a fan zone thing. I was like, what do you mean fan zone? And he explained it. I was like, I got super hyped. I was like, yes, we're doing it. It has to happen. We're doing that. William's next to me. He's like, oh, we have to do it. And like my mind's racing. I'm thinking of all the cool shit that we could do. And yeah, we came outside. We sat where we do a lot of the podcasts, where you get the view of the mountain. And we sat there. We came up with names. I think my name for the pod was Waffle Sports. Still love that name, but we settled on the Wafflers. I think my mind was set on something involving waffles because we waffle a lot. And then yeah, it kick-started from there. That's really how it started.
My version, well, it was a two-part idea. We were introduced to this module in class of doing something along the lines of sports reporting, but also filming in sport. And me and Mr. Luke, who you will meet soon, we just had this look where we formed this idea. And then the moment we talked about the idea, we said we wanted to do something like a podcast and something about talking about our favorite sport, make it easier. And then our other member, Mr. Ross, chimed in and added something to make it more spicy, which was going on with a full podcast, not interviewing people, but rather just, how can I say, just diving deep into football as a whole.
Okay, so it all started, we were not too far away from where we're actually shooting now, just a bit further on. We were talking about, or we were getting information about possibly starting some sort of a podcast or blog of some sort. And then they said you have to do it on a sport. And I've just recently become more into watching football, like gotten more involved in it. So when this idea got put out into the air, I was like, okay. Back in the day, I remember watching a TikTok about it, or Instagram, one of the two. They were talking about how actual fans from each football club got to commentate the game with one another. So I was kind of aiming for something like that. And then Luke and William were sitting next to me, and we kind of got talking about it. We wanted to do the watch-along thing, but that hasn't panned out. So we've kind of evolved it into something that it is now. That's generally how it came around. Despite William saying other things, he's just, bad memory.
When you started the Wafflers podcast, what did you expect, and how does it compare to where you guys are now?
I feel like we've met my expectations of this. I didn't expect anything more than what we are doing now. But I think we could have done a lot better in certain aspects. All of us a bit lazy at times, or maybe higher expectations, but I think we didn't blow it out of proportion.
Expectations, to be honest with you, didn't really have many coming into it, because I was like, well, it's just for the stint of however long this is supposed to be running for. So I didn't really think that there were going to be high hopes. So it wasn't huge expectations. Reality, it's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. Kind of more fun, more interactive, because it's just the three of us chatting about anything and everything football related, which is quite lekker. It's quite nice, just a bit of a hassle sometimes. At the end of the day, it just is what it is. So unfortunately, but otherwise nothing to complain about. Listen, I had high hopes for it but also I tried to stay calm and composed. I didn't want to really be like William and have these massive expectations. Sorry, Will. No, my mind did go there. I was the same as him, but also was like, we need to start somewhere. And I think I thought we would be a lot worse off than what we were. I think we really pulled it together very nicely, and we cooked, to say the least. We did the surge and we cooked. I'm very chuffed with how it's gone so far.
Could you share some of the struggles you have encountered throughout the whole process?
Struggles? Where do I begin? We don't actually have equipment. So the recording and audio all come off phones. Luckily, we do have a tripod and a selfie stick that we kind of use for shooting and filming. Getting an actual venue down to start filming is probably our biggest hassle week to week. Like some of the venues we've come, and the guy in charge says, no, he's going to start charging us for every time we want to use it, right? For those that remember, one of the first behind the scenes. And then we've gotten into the shack. Not great. It's kind of understandable. There's a reason why we call it the shack. But just moving around a lot. There's no really set venue. So that's kind of a big problem that we have at the moment. The editing, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of PC power. I don't have that PC power, so that's a struggle sometimes. But one of the biggest struggles for us is like where we do the pod. I hate the shack. The shack's cuck. It echoes so much. I do love our outside pods, but obviously weather dependent. We can't always, So those are the struggles, and also sometimes we're lazy and we don't want to do it. It happens sometimes,
Struggles are many. I think the rain would be number one. I feel like, especially at the beginning, we didn't really plan for how much this is going to impact our education and how much time it's going to take for us to set aside to film, plan the content, organize interviews. And I think that was a big surprise, and that was a big hurdle to get over. However, besides obvious laziness, I think we didn't have too much struggles that kept us behind in any way.
What do you think about the podcast?
What are my thoughts? I want me to think about their podcast. They use my profile, name, face, me, without my consent. So already, red flag. I will leave them to the lawyers eventually, I guess. It's about football. Everybody watches, listens to, speaks about, and has an opinion on English football, international football. The cool thing about it is that these are real thoughts. These are candid conversations because they watch football. So my thoughts on that is it's football. It's cute. More than the football or the topic or the content, I think I'm more intrigued by the idea that it takes one video to go viral and you become, I don't know, Philly and Chunks. In it. In it.
As producer man was counting us down to start, TikTok and a little lie down was in the works for Riyaad. It's like watching an old man trying to get into bed. Now into the drama of the day. Manager of the club Dion was not happy with us. You can see me standing in front of an angry Patrick Star while these two enjoyed their morning coffees. Seriously, this is what this oak looked like. We wanted to use Captain's cabin as there was nowhere else for us to film. Reluctantly, he allowed us to use the room, all the while saying it is typical of students to ask for things. Okay, Patrick. Boys are finally back from their international break. No more distractions due to playing for their countries. It's now all about taking inspiration from the old man, Mr. Riyaad Peters, and giving much needed motivational quotes for your faces.
William, some motivation for the podcast for today?
Don't succumb to the pressure. Need the pressure.
Dude, give us motivation of the day.
Everything before but is a lie. So deep, boys. So deep. Like, look, what a day it was. Even George decided to bring his little pups out for a walk. Ach man, they're so cute, George. And even little Timmy was enjoying a run on the field, only because he was trying to run away from Tina. Where we were greeted by the presence of these absolute beauties, KOs and conversations. You got your plug, now stop kicking the camera, Koom. Fun fact, the shack is where the inspirational quote originated from Mr. Riyaad Peters, and times are clearly not changing.
Grass isn't always green on the other side. It's greener where you walk.
I would ask William, but he has no flavor anymore.
There's a lot you can do with salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Do my friend they can keep the doctor away.
I don't do if buts and mayonnaise, I do absolutes. Thanks for that, gents. Also, Ross, what is your obsession with hitting me in my face when we're doing a close-up?
What have you loved most about being a part of the Wafflers podcast?
Yo, I've loved the editing, Even though it's been a struggle, one of the most things I've done. Like, I've waited for that type of creativity in my life for the longest time. And I've been searching for it, and I finally have it. And yeah, that's the creative side that I finally have, is this, the filming. I get to be myself. I love commentary. I love anything content. I've always wanted to, and I've never had that. Never knew what to do. Now we have it, and I'm just loving the whole process, you know, and I can't wait for what we have planned.
I loved the podcast itself. I think talking about football, especially with other football enthusiasts, is one of the best things ever. Being able to have a say publicly about your club, and not that it's a big impact on the world, but small beginnings, you know. And I think being able to voice my opinions about my club, other clubs, talk about football as a whole is just an enjoyable experience. Plus, beating Luke in Quiz Day is always the best feeling.
What have I loved? Understanding the game a bit more, getting to chat to people. Even though some of them think that their team, you know, is good, a bit delusional, but who am I to speak? I've loved chatting to them. The quizzes are always fun. You know, it's fun to see how passionate Luke and William get over who can guess the player or the team, it's very nice. I think that's probably the best thing I look forward to, is just having a chat about the quiz. You know, it's very entertaining.
Looking to the future, what do you see for the Wafflers podcast?
Looking forward to, we have so much ideas in the pipeline, so much things that we want to try. I think some of them are very ambitious, but I think our attempt at it is very exciting, and how we're going to solve many of those problems we're going to get is going to be very interesting. What I do look forward to is getting more guests on. I think that is one thing we really wanted to do from the beginning, and I think we only had 1 or 2 guests on so far. And getting more exciting guests, trying new games out, and exciting competitions coming up for us to talk about. And so that all excites me for the future.
Looking forward to, Euros are coming up. So it's going to be a lot of content that we're going to be pushing out in terms of national teams. I mean, we've done a lot of club teams and domestic teams, but now we're going on to almost a bigger stage. Not in terms of how we're presenting it, but it's more like, who do we see in those teams, and the teams consist of, you know, that kind of stuff. So very looking forward to that. Got some couple of things that we have in mind going forward for future podcasts. So some good ideas. Hopefully they come around. That's about it. Yeah.
What I'm looking forward to, we have good ideas, really good ideas. I think when those come out, they're going to be it's going to be quality. It's going to be proper quality. I'm just excited for the journey, really. I think you start from nowhere, really, us using the phones and just seeing where we go. Listen, if it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't go anywhere, but we've had this experience together, and I've really enjoyed building this relationship with the boys.
Where can you see the podcast going?
Listen to that. I want to know where I see the wafflers going. Waffles only go one place. In a plate, and then in my mouth, then in my tummy. Plate, mouth, tummy. That's where waffles go. The wafflers, I think they're going to go all the way. All the way.
Honestly, I've had this chat with William. He was very optimistic about it, of where he kind of saw himself 3 years, 4 years down the line, seeing what's happening. For me, just as soon as we got it, I was like, okay, cool. Work to the extent of the time period that we've been given, and go on from there. But currently, at the moment, chatting to all 3 of us, we actually enjoy it. You know, it's just an hour and a half out of our day where we can just sit and chat about football and, you know, have a laugh and just talk as mates. So I see it possibly carrying on for next year. Who's to say what happens after that? Just for now, I see it carrying on, until next year sometime.
I've had this conversation with Ross before about how far we're actually going to take this. We know you'll meet Luke. He's a very reporting enthusiast, and I'm sure he has great aspirations for us. We otherwise not inclined. However, this really brought a different side out of me, and I think I want to continue that. So for me, it's just how far we can take it. I see us getting a sponsor, maybe something small. I see us buying equipment, getting a studio and all those things. But I don't think we should rush it. I think we should take it as step by step and grow from there. I want to be in 3 years' time and say, look, I'm filming on Thursday. I need to get there, and that just be part of my lifestyle. So I think there's a lot of good things to come, and I'm excited. Definitely excited.
I think we can go to the moon, I'm not going to lie. I really do. I think the dedication from all of us is there, and we want to do it. The passion is there. There's passion and aggression in this football club. I think we really can go far. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
3 voices, 1 passion, and way more out-of-pocket takes. This is the Wafflers Podcast. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come.
3, 2, 1.